Good greetings to you all. In this class, we discuss The Glass Menagerie written by Tennessee Williams. Tennessee Williams was born on 26th March 1911 and died on 25th February 1983. He is an American playwright. Along with his contemporaries Eugene O'Neill and Arthur Miller, he is considered among the three foremost playwrights of 20th century American drama. At the age of 33, after years of obscurity, Williams suddenly became famous with the success of The Glass Menagerie, which was published in 1944 in New York City. This play closely reflected his own unhappy family background. Much of Williams' most acclaimed work has been adapted for the cinema. He also wrote short stories, poetry, essays, and volume of memoirs. In 1979, 4 years before his death, Williams was inducted into the American Theatre Hall of Fame. Before we discuss the summary, let me introduce the main characters for your better understanding. So the main characters are Amanda Wingfield. Amanda Wingfield is the mother of Tom and Laura. And the next one is Tom Wingfield. Tom Wingfield is the narrator of the play and Amanda's son. And next one is Laura Wingfield. I am just introducing the characters only. I am not giving any detailed explanation. If you need a detailed explanation of the characters, you just comment me. I can give you a separate session for that. So Laura Wingfield is the daughter of Amanda and Tom Wingfield's sister. And she has two disabilities. Laura Wingfield has two disabilities, and one is a problem with her leg that causes her to walk heavily with a limp, and she is very shy also. The next problem that she suffers is extreme shy. Another important character is Mr. Wingfield, who is Amanda's husband and father of Tom and Laura. Actually, he doesn't make an actual appearance in the play except through the presence of his portrait on the wall. Another important character is Jim O'Connor. Jim is Tom's friend from the shoe warehouse where he is working, and Jim is genuinely a warm and a kind-hearted person. So these are the main characters who are present in the play The Glass Menagerie. So the play is set in St. Louis, Missouri in 1930s, and the play opens with a monologue. The play opens with a monologue by Tom Wingfield. As I told, Tom Wingfield is the narrator of the play. So being the narrator, he introduces himself. He introduces himself to the audience and identifies himself as the narrator of the play. He also explains that the play consists of his memories also. So Tom tells the audience that the other characters, he is making an introduction about the other characters like his mother Amanda and his sister Laura, and a young man who comes to dinner towards the end of the play. So according to Tom, his father abandoned the family many years earlier, sending a single postcard from Mexico to say goodbye. Okay, so this is how he makes the introduction about the characters, and he gives a background picture of the play as well. So one evening, Amanda calls Tom to dinner, and when he starts eating, Amanda begins to criticize his table manners. Who is Amanda? Amanda is the mother of Tom and Laura. So Tom is very much irritated by his mother's criticism, and he tells his mother that actually her extreme attentiveness, her extreme attention to his dinner has almost ruined his dinner. And Amanda just dismisses his complaint. So, as Laura offers to help her mother with the dessert, Amanda begins talking about her past. So, Tom grows weary as he and Laura have heard their mother's story many times before. So, this is the practice happening in this house. So, quite often, Amanda goes back to her memories and she used to narrate her past experiences and life to the children. So they are almost fed up now. So Laura appears to understand Amanda's need to talk about the past. So Laura is always trying to understand her mother because she knew that her mother is very much disappointed and she is having her repressed feelings. So as to get relieved, she wants somebody to listen to her. So she almost tried to understand her mother, but Tom is not like that. Tom mocks his mother's tales of her youth and her many gentleman callers. So he is not that much interested to listen to his mother's tales, especially tales about her past young days. And now the focus shifts from Amanda's past to Laura's future. So, and Laura comments on her mother's worry that Laura will never marry. So, that is the opinion, or that is how Laura thinks now. She did not want to marry. So, as Laura polishes her collection of glass figurines, one morning, comes home and accuses Laura of dishonest behavior. So Amanda reveals that she had stopped by Rubicam's business school to check on Laura's progress. So to Laura's dismay, Amanda discovers during this visit that Laura has stopped attending the classes. So here Laura tries to explain that she embarrassed herself during class one day, that she was too humiliated to return. So she felt teased and made fun at by the schoolmates while she is there in the school. Before itself I have told you she is suffering from two ailments. One is her limp leg, and the other one is she is extremely shy. She is not a courageous she doesn't have self-confidence to face others and talk. So for these reasons she was humiliated in the school, so she stopped going to the classes. And Amanda scolds Laura for this, but her tone changes when she asks Laura if she has ever liked a boy. So as she was scolding Laura, her concern is about Laura's future. So she wants to settle Laura with a good boy. Okay, so she wants to arrange her marriage. That is the concern of Amanda. So Amanda is, as she was scolding, she just asked Laura whether she liked any boy. So Laura admits that she had feelings for a boy named Jim, with whom she went to the high school. So here Laura explains to her mother about one of her crush, or the boy whom she liked when she was in the high school. So when Amanda hears this, her mood improves. Her mood improves because now she started imagining about Laura's marriage and Laura's future, and she is having a good life and all. And when Laura reminds her mother that she is disabled, Amanda is refused to listen to her. She is not listening to what Laura says about her disability. She is just dreaming about the future of Laura. Later, Tom narrates from the fire escape of the Wingfield apartment as his mother calls potential magazine subscribers, explaining that Amanda has taken the job in order to make extra money. Okay, so moments later, Tom and Amanda argue about Tom's behavior, and Tom feels justified in his choices because he earns money. He earns money that pays the rent and the bills. But Amanda feels Tom is putting his job at risk. So this mother and son, Tom and Amanda, are not always in good terms. Quite often they will have arguments on one or the other thing. So now Tom loses his temper with his mother, and he calls her names, and upset. She becomes very much upset, and Tom tries to grab his coat and leave the apartment. But in his emotional state, he breaks one of Laura's glass figurines. As I told you before, Laura has the habit of keeping these glass figurines, small animals, glass figurines she used to keep. So one of those had been broken now. So what Tom did now is she just gathers the pieces of broken glass while Laura looks on, and she was very much pained, and because she loved it very much, and she has almost lost one of her figurines now, so she looked very pained now. Okay, and now Tom leaves the scene. At 5 o'clock the next morning, Tom comes home drunk, and Laura lets him into the apartment, and he tells Laura about the evening out before he falls asleep on the sofa. An hour later, Amanda's alarm clock rings, and Tom wakes up. Okay, so as Amanda prepares breakfast, Amanda already had a feud with Tom, so now she is refused to speak to Tom until he apologizes. So this is the demand put forward by Amanda now. He should apologize for his behavior so that she'll speak to him. Then she started crying. She burst into tears and blames herself for his bitterness towards her. So then before Tom leaves for work, Amanda makes Tom promise not to become an alcoholic, and she tells him that Laura is worried about him. So she at once she reminds him about Laura's future, and he has to work to make her future safe and all, and also warned him not to drink anymore also. And Amanda compares Tom to his father, claiming that they share a sense of restlessness. She acknowledges to Tom that she knows about Tom's desire to leave in order to join the merchant marine, but she insists that he stay until there is a man in Laura's life. So this is the only condition that Amanda always puts in front of Tom, because she is very much worried and upset about Laura's future. Being a disabled girl, she is afraid whether she will get a good boy or in her life. So quite often she reminds Tom about the same. So now Tom is able to leave the apartment only after he promises his mother that he will bring a nice young man home from his job at the shoe warehouse for Laura to meet. So she is making Tom to promise. Okay, what was the promise? She wants him to bring a young boy for Laura. And as Tom leaves, Amanda calls another potential magazine subscriber. So one evening, Amanda reminds again about the promise. He is reminding Tom about the promise, and she wants him to introduce Laura to a young man. So he tells Amanda that a young man is coming. Okay, that evening, the next evening. So Amanda interrogates Tom about the young man, whose name is Jim O'Connor, wondering if the young man has anything in common with her own charming but untrustworthy husband. Okay, so she was inquiring more about Jim to Tom, because she's afraid whether he has some qualities, or she's afraid whether she doesn't want Laura to suffer just like herself. So Tom just cautions Amanda, and he tells her he doesn't know that he is coming to dinner to meet Laura. He is bringing Jim really to meet Laura. So he doesn't really inform this to Jim. So Tom also reminds Amanda to remember that Laura is an unusual young woman. So when Tom leaves the apartment to go to the movies, Amanda grows annoyed. But her mood changes when she sees the moon shining outside the window, and Amanda tells Laura to make a wish on the moon. But Laura doesn't know what she should wish for. Okay, so that is how that scene ends. And the following evening, Tom, being the narrator, he gives an explanation. Tom explains to the audience that Jim O'Connor is an old high school acquaintance. Okay, so whom he has already invited to his apartment, and now Laura is very nervous and she gets ready for dinner with Amanda's help, and she finds out that the dinner guest is Jim O'Connor, the boy she had a crush when she was in her high school. So when Tom and Jim arrive for dinner, Laura shakes Jim's hand before escaping to the back room. As I told you, she is a very fragile, very weak, and very what do you call, very soft hearted girl. So as Tom and Jim talk among themselves, Amanda makes an entrance, and that surprises both the young men. Amanda summons Laura from the other room, and Laura emerges only to rest on the sofa while Tom, Jim and Amanda say grace. So after supper, Tom approaches Laura in the living room. The lights go out then, and Tom admits that he neglected to pay the electricity bill. So Amanda insists that Tom help her wash the dishes while Jim and Laura talk. So here Amanda was creating an opportunity for Laura and Jim to talk. So Jim suggests that Laura is sit on the floor next to him, and his friendly manner really disarms Laura. So their conversation is happening there, and Laura grows very comfortable with Jim and shows him her collection of glass figurines and all. And when the music starts to play from the dance hall across the alleyway, Jim asks Laura to dance. So after Jim compliments Laura and tells her that she is pretty, he just kisses her. So as soon as the kiss ends, Jim voices his regret and offers Laura a mint. So he tells Laura that he has already a girlfriend. And when Amanda enters the living room with a pitcher of lemonade, Jim was explaining his need to go to his girlfriend now. So he is already engaged, and he is very soon to marry her. So here Laura stands back as Jim leaves. Amanda blames Tom for his ignorance, because already she has been inquiring about Jim, and Jim just ignores it and he leaves to the movies. So the play ends as Tom ruminates on his past and says goodbye to his family and to the audience. So this is how the play ends. Hope you all have understood. Thank you.